Kia ora, welcome to Central News for Tuesday the 15th of July. I'm Hilary Entwistle. A $102 million roading project is set to reshape State Highway 2 between Bay Park and Bay Fair in Tauranga, reducing congestion and improving safety for motorists. The Transport Agency has confirmed the preferred option for the Bay Park to Bay Fair link upgrade project, formerly known as the Maunganui-Girvan intersection improvements. The Transport Agency's acting highway manager, Andrew Scott, says the changes include 2 flyovers, one which will take State Highway 2 over the Maunganui-Girvan intersection and a second taking State Highway 29 over the railway line and the Timonga intersection. Mr Scott says the project will allow direct access from Bay Park and Truman Lane and will see the East Coast Main Trunk Railway line relocated behind Owens Place. A shared pedestrian and cycle path from Owens Place to Bay Park is also proposed as part of the plan. With the rise of criminal behaviour over the internet, the average person can be at risk of becoming part of a scam or unwillingly spreading a virus simply with a click of a mouse. Dr Ryan Coe, Senior Lecturer of Cyber Security Researchers at University of Waikato, says everybody should be concerned with cyber security.
Oh, because we are all on the same canoe, right? So if one part of the canoe actually sinks, everyone sinks together with it. And what is this canoe? This canoe is actually the internet. We are all connected. And if our computers are compromised and could be used by someone else to do malicious things, we're actually contributing to that cybercrime. So we should all be very vigilant and be very careful with what we do with our computers.
Skate and scooter riders should have a new skate park within 18 months following a $107,000 funding injection from Western Bay Plenty District Council. Project Coordinator Richard Crawford says a new skate park in Jubilee Park is wanted because the old skating area besides Te Puke Sport Club in Atuaroa Ave didn't offer features skaters wanted and was in a poorly accessible location. The council is reallocating $107,000 to the project, which had been earmarked for public toilets in Jubilee Park, but is no longer needed following the upgrade of library toilets. A Waikato effluent disposal company has been convicted and fined $41,250 for turning a stream pink with piggery effluent and then pretending to clean it up. In June 2013, Farm Effluent Services Limited was contracted to spread piggery effluent on a rural property at Scotsman Valley, approximately 18 kilometres southeast of Hamilton. The company applied the effluent to land in large volumes and in wet conditions, resulting in the effluent flowing off the land at multiple locations and into a nearby stream. Upon inspection, council officers were assured that clean-up would commence that evening. Later that night, Farm Effluent Services Limited placed a tractor on site and operated in such a way as to appear as if they were cleaning up the remaining effluent. In fact, no clean-up was carried out. The judge termed the company's effort to deceive the council as a deliberate act that tends to show a disregard for what harm may have been caused and what clean-up or other remediation should have been undertaken. Tauranga Harbour's overgrowing mangroves will be mowed by a unique hovercraft. The innovative custom-built craft can cut about 600 hectares of seedlings annually while causing minimal environmental damage. Bay Plenty Regional Council General Manager of Environmental Delivery, Warwick Murray, says the first of its kind will be used as it offers many advantages over other designs. The hovercraft, with mower blades attached, is intended to prevent the further encroachment of mangroves by cutting down mangrove seedlings. It is not intended to tackle mature growth. Now for our region's marine forecast. West Coast, Raglan, variable easing to 10 knots. Your high tide is at 1 p.m. East Coast Bay of Plenty, southerly 15 knots and fine. High tide is at 10:02 in the morning. Just ahead, more money to be spent in Hamilton City. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. After a tightening of the proverbial belt over the past 3 years, the Hamilton City Council has loosened the hold on the city finances and reinvesting back into the city. Anne-Marie spoke with Julie Hardacre, Mayor of Hamilton, about the key projects and what we can expect to see happen with the Hamilton Gardens redevelopment.
Yeah, look, the Hamilton Gardens is a fantastic opportunity for the city. It's an iconic feature and it's actually a world-class gardens, of course, and our goal is to be the #1 design garden in the world, and I think we can get there. But look, this reinvestment represents 5 new gardens and some great infrastructure, the ferry, the jetty area that we need to tidy up, a new information centre, car parking, the practical things that make it a great place to visit. And, you know, the public has really received this well. $10 per rateable property for the next 4 years is all it's going to cost our people. But of course the challenge for us is to go out and get big funding to support that project through the philanthropic trusts and the government, and we're working really hard on that at the moment. So look, the gardens are going to be magnificent. The images of the new gardens are just wonderful, and I'm just so excited that we're getting on with it. So yeah, I mean, people are happy to pay the $10, and it's, you know, it's a good investment.
And $80,000 has been put towards the City Central Transformation Plan. What can we expect to see?
Look, this is a big piece of work and a very important piece of work that we've been starting, and well, it's been underway now for a few months. So this is about, you know, actually capturing what's, you know, the trends that are starting to emerge in the CBD. It's had a rough time over the last 3 decades. CBDs all around the world really suffer from these things, and we're determined that we're going to turn this around and do the things that really matter. So it's about bringing together all the things that you expect to happen in a CBD to make it actually commercially strong, and that we can get that residential living going. So the basics, amenity and safety, are some things we're working on really carefully. You've got to get those things right. Litter collections and street tidiness and planting, they do matter. And then there's the bigger challenges for us about office space, the grades of office space, earthquake buildings, investment opportunities, how easy it is to invest in the CBD, parking. You know, some of these issues are complex and challenging. But look, we've had some great sessions with key stakeholders, and our expectation is that we would have a project-focused plan about all the things we need to do, not just the council but other people as well involved in this, and hopefully that will be finished by October, November.
On top of this is safety in the city, with a range of initiatives being introduced. Tell me about those.
Yeah, look, safety is #1. And sometimes we forget that, but it's actually, you've got to get the basics right. So we've been doing a lot of work on the safety aspects, particularly in the CBD. We've had some challenges, particularly the legal highs. They created a lot of issues for the business community, for retail, and just for visitors to our city. And we haven't got that right. So we're looking at a couple of really important initiatives, you know, cameras and things like that. We're going to put more of those in. But we're also doing some work on, you know, how we need to approach our bylaws and policies and enforcement of those. And I expect that work will be finished in the next month or so. And then on the other side, how do we deal with homelessness? What is the answer there? That again is a very complex and multifaceted issue. But we're working very closely with some really great social sector organisations, both government and NGOs. And we think that we've got a framework that will be right. So we're just working on finalising that. So, you know, helping as well as actually enforcement to go hand in hand.
And children haven't been forgotten.
Of course not, because that's a big part of our city. Families, and you know, Hamilton's a place for families. So we're really getting stuck into our playgrounds policy, because we released that last year, and it's a fantastic policy. I think it's quite an innovative way to approach playgrounds in cities, nothing like this in New Zealand currently. And this is about our destination playgrounds. We know that's where kids want to go. You know, the little swing and slide doesn't always do it these days. So we are starting that journey to start those redevelopments, and we've been lucky to receive some good funding for our first cab off the rank, which is at Minogue Park, and I think that's going to be great. And also the lake is starting, the upgrade of the playground at the lake will be starting, and once the weather gets better.
Don't get rid of the big slide.
Oh, look, honestly, the stuff they've been showing me about how it's going to look, I think people will absolutely love it. I think the adults will want to play in it.
One of my favourite memories is going to the Hamilton Lake with my mum and going on the big slide, and then she'd buy me a hard-boiled egg.
A hard-boiled egg?
I know.
Look, Hamilton Lake is a really popular place, wonderful place for families. There's something for everyone there. And that playground is one of our most popular playgrounds, so we're doing some improvements there, but they look great. And then Minogue Park, and our challenge of course is to work on rolling out one of these destination playgrounds every year, and that will be a big ask, but you know, there's a lot of community buy-in to great playgrounds, and we haven't forgotten the local ones. The neighbourhood playgrounds, a number of those will still continue to be maintained and upgraded, so people don't need to worry that there won't be a playground near them.
And the River Plan, perhaps one of the city's most valuable and underused assets. What can we expect to see?
Look, this River Plan is going to be transformational, really. It's going to change the future of the city, absolutely no doubt about that. It's ambitious and bold, and I think the people are going to absolutely love it. We've tested it already, a little bit of the information. We had a fantastic open day. We had the most people come to a consultation process for councils, because normally those can be, they're not the thing you do every weekend for entertainment, but look, this one's been great. And people are loving it. They are loving the opportunity to have a bit of a say about what they'd like. But interestingly, nothing new. We've heard these things for so long, and it's time that we just get on with it. So the group's been working really hard on this plan. The public, I'm confident, will absolutely love it. It's not tweaking. This is transformational change for our city that will redefine who we are and redefine our identity, I think. And that's what people want, and it's going to be great.
For further details on the Hamilton City Council annual plan, go to hamilton.gov.nz. Coming up next, yarn bombing. Welcome back to Central News. If you have not been to Gretton in Tauranga already to check out the yarn bombing, you are missing out. It's such a neat community project that has brought some colour to the suburb in the midst of winter. I spoke with a couple of the minds behind the project. Let's start at the beginning, Victoria. Go. What is yarn bombing?
Well, it's an international, I guess you'd say, movement. Started in Denmark. Knitted pieces started cropping up all over the place, usually like knitted sculptures or scarves for bronze statues, underpants for pantless bronze statues, that kind of thing. And now it's in Gretton.
And why did you want to yarn bomb Gretton? I mean, how did the idea come about to do it here, right here in Tauranga and Gretton?
I'd seen it everywhere on the internet and on blogs, and I just wanted to get it happening here. I had to really nag the Victoria, our Main Street manager, and eventually she decided that I might be onto something. And what it's done for Gretton is just amazing. People just come to visit us just to see our trees.
It's actually had a bit of national media attention, hasn't it?
It has, yes. The Herald's picked up on it, and you guys in the Waikato.
Now, you did the same thing last year, didn't you? This isn't the first year. Why did you want to do it again?
It turns out that we quite enjoy this fame business, and we just want a little more. No, it's just awesome. People didn't want it to go last year, and they asked when's it coming back, and it just seemed like a natural thing to keep doing it.
Has it grown since last year?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. I don't think we have. Oh, we probably have as many trees as last year, but not more. The trees are different this year. I think there's a lot more effort in them, maybe. I don't know if you can say that.
It definitely looks different. It definitely looks bigger and brighter to me. Now, you actually decided on a bit of a theme for this year, didn't you?
Yep. So the breast cancer survivors tree last year brought so much attention, and it was the tree that everybody used as their reference, and they'd really done something quite different by theming their tree with the spider webs and the pink, and we sort of thought, well, it'd be cool if all or the big majority of the trees had that reference, so that people would go, oh, I really like that. pink spiderweb tree. So we gave it a theme just to inspire the knitters to get a little bit more creative with it. Not that, I mean, you know, knitting for a tree isn't creative enough, but just a little bit more creativity. And they've come up with some stunning designs.
And one of those interesting trees is the Rapunzel Amcal Pharmacy one, isn't it? Tell me about that.
Okay, so that was created by a lady called Rivka, and she joined the group having moved here from Gisborne and not really knowing a lot of people. She was on a big mission to meet some people, try some new things, and she'd never knitted before in her life. So if you've got a footage of the tree, I think you'll see just the amazing effort that's gone into creating it, and from someone who's never knitted before, it's really incredible.
That's quite surprising. I did not know that. That is quite shocking. Very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Belinda, tell us about this beautiful lounge that we're sitting in right outside your shop.
It's just the most amazing lounge. I had the idea that we needed something we could move around the village, so we decided on a lounge setting, and we have this member in our group, Christine, who is like a crochet machine, and she's done the whole lot. She's crocheted it all on her own with a little help from a friend of hers, or I should say a lot of help probably, and this is what she came up with.
And she did that lamp as well, which
did the
I
lamp.
think is just
Yep.
amazing. I
it
love
is.
it. It's
Yep.
so cool.
So great.
Yeah. And Victoria, who else has been involved? I mean, has this just been a whole community collaboration?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like last year, there were groups that did their own trees. There are some groups who were sort of a combined effort. One tree in particular is the kindergarten tree, which the whole kindergarten got behind. And as far away as Tupuna actually bought wool for them, and the other kindergartens gave them wool for donations. So yeah, it's been another community effort. Lots of different trees, lots of different pieces on each tree. Yeah.
Where's the furthest, obviously some wool's come from Tupuna, but where's the furthest yarn wool come from?
Oh, there was a nana who knitted in England for the kindergarten tree.
So Yarn Bombing Gretchen has almost gone international.
International baby. Yep.
Fantastic. We saw it here. Come down, see the yarn bombing. The yarn bombing will be coming down at the end of July, so make sure you hurry along to see it. Just ahead, weather and the Graham's Creek flood protection. Welcome back. The Waikato Regional Council has recently released its annual plan for the 2014-15 period. As part of this, planned work on harbour catchment has been delayed. Anne-Marie spoke with Chairperson Paula Southgate about the delay and also the planned work on the Graham's Creek flood protection project.
Well, a lot of that has to do with resource consents around vegetation removal in the Whangamata Harbour, but those have all been resolved now and the work will be underway once more. Historically, we've pulled back some budgets around harbour management, but those have been reinstated and within current plans. So we're moving our attention to a number of harbours, Whangapoa, for example, where we've got a high level of erosion control and we can basically get the complete catchment fenced and protected, and we'll be looking at some issues around Tairua as well. Fair to say that coastal management has become a strategic priority of late with Council, and you'll see that reflected in its new strategic direction. We're recognising the importance of protecting not only our rivers but also our coasts and harbours.
The Graham's Creek Flood Protection Project has received a number of submissions. How's that going?
Well, that was one of the projects which we consulted with the public especially on. It's a problem that we've had for over the last 8 years, with the community being undecided how to proceed to protect themselves from the high water levels, especially when there's high tide situations as well in the flood. What we've done is, it was pretty split, to be honest. But what we have done is decide to go ahead with flood control works. So we've put in a budget of $650,000 towards it. What's really important is that we've established a working party with the local community and the Thames Coromandel District Council to decide how that money gets used there, to develop an implementation plan, if you like, for the works. Because it was very important that the community took some ownership of the project. I think the key thing about the Graham's Creek is we'd finally reached an agreement with Thames Coromandel District Council, and that took a while coming, but we were in agreement that something needed to be done. They were happy to collect a rate from the local people, and we were happy to contribute our rate, and we can only do it in a partnership.
And have you received feedback on which way people are thinking at the moment?
We haven't had the first meeting of the working party yet. That's just about to occur. So we've got Councillor Clyde Graff representing council on that, and Glenn Leach, Mayor of Coromandel, will also be involved in that process. Suffice to say, there are different points of view about how high the bridge should be, how wide the bridge should be, what the flood banks should look like, and those design matters. But I'm pretty confident with the people that we have in the room that we'll reach an agreement which will be of benefit to the community.
For more information on the Waikato Regional Council annual plan, go to waikatoregion.gov.nz. Now for your weather for Wednesday, Hamilton mainly fine with light winds, 12 and -1 for overnight. The rest of the Waikato mainly fine with light breezes. Your expected temperatures Paeroa are 13 and -1, Matamata 11 and -1, Te Awamutu 12 and -1, and Tokoroa 10 and -1. Bay of Plenty, Tauranga mainly fine with light winds. Your expected high is 13 and an overnight low of 1. The rest of the Bay of Plenty mainly fine with southerly breezes. Your expected high Te Puke is 12 and an overnight low of 3. That is the news for today. Like us on Facebook or email us at news@tvcentral.co.nz if you'd like to get in contact with us. Annie will be here tomorrow night with all the details you need to know about cybercrime and protecting yourself against it, and why the DHB is advocating immunisation now more than ever. I'm Hilary Entwistle. I hope you have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.